What if every dollar you spent could return to you multiplied? What if money was not a tool of fear, but a servant of faith? What if the act of paying a bill, buying food, or giving a gift was not a loss, but a sacred transaction that opened the channels of overflow? Tonight, I want to show you that this is not a fantasy. This is spiritual law. And once you learn to speak one simple sentence before you release money, your entire financial life can change. You see, most people spend money with dread. They sigh when they pay a bill. They feel tightness when they swipe their card. They silently whisper, "I hope I have enough." These emotions, these unspoken words, carry vibration, and the law of mind always obeys vibration. If you spend in fear, you attract more fear. If you release in doubt, you invite lack. But if you spend with faith, if you declare a word of abundance before each transaction, you align with the law that multiplies. Money is not static. Money is circulation. Just like blood in your body, it must move to sustain life. The moment you try to hoard it in fear, it stagnates. The moment you release it with joy, it flows back stronger. Think of it this way. When you breathe, you don't cling desperately to the inhale. You release it with confidence, knowing another breath will come. Money follows the same rhythm. It is spirit in motion. It expands as you allow it to circulate. But here's the truth most people never learn. It is not the spending itself that multiplies money. It is the consciousness, the word, the decree spoken over that spending. This is why Geneviève Behrend taught that every act of visualization, every affirmation, every spoken declaration is creative. It shapes substance. It tells the invisible exactly how to appear. When you spend silently, you give no command. But when you speak with power, when you say the right sentence, you send money out with orders to return multiplied. So what is this sentence? Listen carefully. Before you spend, you pause, you breathe, and you say, "Every dollar I release returns to me multiplied in perfect timing under grace." Simple, but sacred. This one sentence changes everything because it turns every act of release into an act of creation. You are no longer a victim of bills or expenses. You are a commander of circulation. You are telling the universe, this is not loss, this is seed, and what is planted must return. Think of a farmer sowing seed. He does not cry because grain leaves his hand. He knows it must return as harvest, greater than what he gave. Spending money with fear is like throwing seed into the ground while saying, "I hope nothing grows." But spending with faith, with the right word, is sowing with joy, knowing the harvest is inevitable. Now imagine this in your daily life. You pay a bill, not with dread, but with declaration. Every dollar I release returns multiplied. You buy groceries, not with anxiety, but with joy. This money returns to me many times over. You give a gift, not with worry, but with confidence. What I give comes back pressed down, shaken together, running over. The moment you adopt this practice, your vibration shifts. You no longer send money out with chains of fear. You send it out with wings of faith. And like a bird released to the sky, it will return, carrying more with it. You may say, but can it really work that fast? Yes, because the law does not need time. It needs alignment. The instant you stop spending in fear and start spending in faith, you break the old cycle. Your subconscious stops associating money with loss and begins associating it with multiplication. This shift alone can attract opportunities, refunds, unexpected gifts, and new channels of income. I remember a story of a man who practiced this faithfully. Every time he paid a bill, he spoke, "This payment blesses me, and it returns multiplied." At first, nothing dramatic happened, but within weeks, refunds he had forgotten about began arriving. Old clients resurfaced with new projects. His expenses decreased, his income rose, and he realized it was not coincidence. It was circulation. The law had been activated by his words. You may wonder, what if I don't believe it at first? Speak it anyway. Faith grows by repetition. At first it may feel strange, but the more you say it, the more natural it becomes. And as it becomes natural, your subconscious accepts it. Once accepted, it must be expressed. So tonight, let's begin the practice together. Close your eyes. Imagine the next time you spend money. Picture yourself at the counter, card in hand or online, confirming a payment. Instead of tightening with fear, you breathe with peace. You smile and you speak aloud. Every dollar I release returns to me multiplied in perfect timing under grace. Feel the difference. Feel the energy shift. Instead of loss, there is expansion. Instead of emptiness, there is expectation. Instead of dread, there is joy. Hold that feeling. See the money leaving your hands, not as disappearance, but as seed planted in fertile soil. Know it must grow, know it must return, know the harvest is already on its way. And now declare again, every dollar I release returns multiplied. Let the words settle in your subconscious. Let them become your truth. Because this is not a superstition. This is not blind hope. This is the law of circulation, activated by the spoken word. From this moment forward, you are not a fearful spender. You are a conscious circulator. Every act of release becomes sacred. Every dollar becomes a servant. And every word becomes a command that shapes your financial destiny. So remember, before you spend again, pause, breathe, and declare. The law is waiting for your word, and once spoken, it cannot fail. When you begin to practice this law, something remarkable happens. You realize that spending is not the enemy. For most people, money going out feels like pain. They say, I'm losing money, I'm bleeding resources, I'll never catch up. And with each of those words, the law obeys. The subconscious records loss, and so more loss must appear. But the moment you speak differently, the moment you say, every dollar I release returns multiplied, you rewrite the program, you shift the vibration, and money begins to obey a new rhythm. Consider this, money is neutral. It has no character of its own. It is not good or evil. It is not kind or cruel. It is like electricity, completely obedient to the way you channel it. If you wire your house with fear, electricity will shock you. If you wire it with wisdom, electricity will light your home. The same law applies to money. When you charge it with anxiety, it returns with scarcity. When you charge it with confidence, it returns with abundance. The choice is always yours. Geneviève Behrend often taught that the mind is the builder and imagination is the blueprint. If you imagine money as scarce, as slipping through your fingers, as disappearing forever, then that is what the blueprint demands. But if you imagine money as seed, as circulation, as flow that returns multiplied, then your subconscious builds exactly that. The picture governs the result. This is why we must combine visualization with the spoken word. Seeing abundance and speaking abundance creates coherence, and coherence activates law. Let's go deeper with this practice. Imagine right now that you're paying your rent or mortgage. Feel the old habit rise, the tension, the worry, the sigh. Now pause, breathe, see yourself smiling and say, this payment blesses me. It blesses my home. It returns to me multiplied in perfect timing under grace. Instantly, you have transformed the act. It is no longer a burden. It is a blessing. It is no longer loss. It is circulation, and circulation always returns. Think of how powerful this is. Most people spend hundreds of times per week. Bills, groceries, gas, gifts, subscriptions. Each one is a moment of programming. If every one of those moments is programmed with fear, no wonder scarcity multiplies. But if every one of those moments is programmed with faith, imagine how quickly overflow appears. Each transaction becomes an affirmation. Each release becomes a seed. Each word becomes a command. You might say, but isn't this pretending? If I'm broke, how can I say I'm abundant? Let me be clear, this is not pretending. This is law. Your outer reality is only the photograph. Your inner word is the negative. You are not lying when you speak abundance. You are creating abundance. You are not deceiving yourself when you say, this money returns multiplied. You are commanding the law of circulation to obey. Remember the words of Scripture. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Every word you speak over money carries power. If you say, money slips away from me, that is a command. If you say, I never have enough, that is a command. And the law without judgment must obey. So why not give it new orders? Why not declare, money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways. Every dollar I spend returns multiplied. I am endlessly supplied. Say this now with me. I release money joyfully. It returns multiplied. I release money with faith. It comes back pressed down, shaken together, running over. I am abundance in circulation. My supply cannot end. Do you feel the power of those words? They are not hope. They are law. They are not wishful thinking. They are commands written in the substance of the universe. Speak them often and watch how quickly money begins to respond. There was once a woman who lived in constant dread of bills. She would avoid opening her mail because she feared the numbers inside. One day, she learned the principle of speaking before spending. She began to bless each bill. Instead of sighing, she said, "This bill returns to me multiplied. This payment opens channels of supply." Within weeks, she noticed her income increasing. Unexpected discounts appeared. Refunds arrived. A raise was offered at work. She realized it was not coincidence. It was alignment. Her words had shifted her vibration, and her vibration had shifted her life. This can be your story too. If you choose tonight to never spend in silence again, but always with declaration, the law must respond. Do not underestimate how powerful this is. Even the smallest purchases carry energy. Even a cup of coffee, when released with blessing, becomes a seed of overflow. Every act of spending can either confirm scarcity or command abundance. The choice is yours. So I ask you, how will you spend tomorrow? Will you sigh, complain, and fear, or will you pause, breathe, and declare? The difference may seem small, but it is everything, because every declaration is a seed, every word is a mold, every sentence is a command, and the universe does not hesitate, it only obeys. So practice with me once more. See yourself tomorrow handling money. Every time you release it, say, "Every dollar I release returns multiplied in perfect timing under grace." See yourself speaking it in the grocery store, at the gas station, online, at the cafe. Over and over, consistent, rhythmic, faithful. And know, each word is programming your subconscious. Each word is shaping substance. Each word is commanding law. This is how you turn spending into multiplying. This is how you transform every release into return. And this is how you stop fearing money and start mastering it. From tonight forward, no transaction is ordinary. Everyone is sacred and everyone obeys your word. The most extraordinary truth about this practice is that once you begin, the shift is not only financial, it is emotional, spiritual, even physical. You see, money touches almost every part of daily life. So when your relationship with money is poisoned by fear, that fear spreads into your health, your relationships, your sleep. But when your relationship with money is cleansed by faith and declaration, peace flows into every corner of your existence. You no longer wake with dread. You no longer shrink at the sight of bills. You no longer carry the weight of never enough. Instead, you breathe freely. You sleep deeply. You live joyfully, because you know every dollar released returns multiplied. Geneviève Behrend insisted that imagination directed with faith is creation itself. When you imagine lack, you build lack. When you imagine multiplication, you build multiplication. Your subconscious does not argue, it simply obeys. This is why words matter so much, because words are spoken imagination. They carry pictures. They impress images on the inner mind, and once impressed, they must be expressed. So when you speak before spending, you are not just reciting a phrase. You are stamping a picture into your subconscious, a picture of money flowing back to you, stronger, multiplied, abundant. Pause and consider how different this is from how most people live. When they spend, they say nothing. Or worse, they mutter curses. "I hate paying bills. Everything is so expensive. Money disappears too fast." These phrases may sound casual, but they are not. They are decrees, and the law, faithful and impartial, must reproduce them. So their money continues to slip away, their expenses continue to rise, their fear continues to grow. Not because they are cursed, but because they are commanding lack with their own mouths. You are different now. You know better. From this moment forward, you are conscious. You will never again spend in silence. You will never again curse your money. You will never again send it out with chains of fear. From now on, every dollar you release will go with blessing, with authority, with command. And because you bless it, it will bless you. Because you declare multiplication, it must return multiplied. So let's strengthen this practice with deeper visualization. Close your eyes. See yourself at the moment of spending. Perhaps you are at the counter, handing money to the cashier, or online, confirming a payment, or writing a check. See yourself pause, see your hand relax, see a smile on your face, and hear your own voice saying, "Every dollar I release returns to me multiplied in perfect timing under grace." Now, see the money leaving, but not disappearing. See it as a stream of light flowing out, circling the earth, gathering more, multiplying, and returning back to you. Feel the certainty of that return. Feel the joy of knowing it is already done. You no longer fear money leaving because you know it cannot leave without returning. And when it returns, it will bring friends. It will bring overflow. It will bring opportunities. Say again, every dollar I release returns multiplied. There was once a man who struggled with debt. Each payment felt like a wound. He hated money. He hated spending. But one day, he learned this practice. He began to say the words before each payment. At first, he felt foolish, but he persisted. Soon, something changed. Instead of dread, he began to feel peace. Instead of hate, he began to feel gratitude. And as his vibration changed, his circumstances shifted. Within months, he received unexpected offers of work. His income grew. His debts shrank. And for the first time, he felt free. He said, "The words changed me, and once I changed, everything else followed." This can be your story too. If you will take the discipline seriously, if you will refuse to release money in silence, if you will bless every dollar, if you will command every transaction. Now, let's add affirmations to deepen the groove in your subconscious. I release money joyfully and it returns multiplied. Every bill I pay opens the way for more supply. Money flows in endless circulation, always returning to me. What I give, I receive multiplied and expanded. I am the master of circulation. My supply cannot fail. Speak them slowly. Speak them with conviction. Repeat them until they become second nature, because your subconscious only learns by repetition. And once it learns, it commands reality. Notice how this practice also dissolves fear of lack. Most people fear spending because they secretly believe money will run out. But when you affirm multiplication, that fear evaporates. You no longer believe in depletion. You believe in circulation, and circulation cannot run out. Just as the ocean does not fear giving wave after wave, you do not fear releasing dollar after dollar, because you know more is coming, always, without fail. This new belief is liberating. You no longer grip money tightly, you no longer hoard, you no longer shrink. You spend freely, you give generously, you circulate joyfully. And paradoxically, the freer you become, the more money flows to you, because the law of circulation rewards openness and punishes fear. So I ask you, can you see yourself becoming this person? Can you picture yourself paying bills with a smile, giving gifts with joy, releasing money with confidence? If so, then overflow is already on its way, because the law cannot resist a consistent, faithful declaration. From tonight forward, you are not the same. You are not a fearful spender. You are a conscious creator. You do not release money into emptiness. You release it into law, and law multiplies, always. The law of circulation is not something you practice once in a while. It is not a technique you use only when you feel inspired. It must become your way of life. Just as you breathe in and out without hesitation, so too must you spend and release money with trust and declaration. Every inhale guarantees an exhale. Every exhale guarantees another inhale. There is no fear in breathing because you know supply is endless. In the same way, when you train your mind to bless every dollar you release, you discover that money too follows the rhythm of life, an eternal circulation that never ceases. From this moment forward, your task is simple. Never release money in silence again. Each time you pay, you speak. Each time you spend, you declare. Each time money leaves your hand, you send it out with command. Remember, money has no will of its own. It is obedient. It is loyal. It is a perfect servant. It follows your instruction. So give it good instruction. Tell it to return multiplied. Tell it to open doors. Tell it to bring friends, and it will. Say it now with me. Every dollar I release returns multiplied in perfect timing under grace. The more you speak it, the more natural it becomes. At first, you may need to remind yourself, but soon it will be automatic. Just as you instinctively say thank you, you will instinctively bless your money. And when it becomes instinct, the law will respond instantly, because your subconscious, fully trained, will accept multiplication as truth, and truth must be expressed. Think of the power this gives you. For years, perhaps, you believed you were powerless against bills, against debt, against rising costs. But now you know better. You are not powerless. You are powerful. You command the circulation of wealth. You decide how money behaves in your life. You are no longer a victim of economics, but a master of law. And what does a master of law do? A master practices daily. A master repeats faithfully. A master does not waver. So tomorrow, when you wake, set this as your rhythm. Every dollar I release returns multiplied. Speak it in the morning before the day begins. Speak it at noon when the world tries to distract you. Speak it at night before you rest. Let it become your heartbeat, your song, your declaration, and soon your entire life will move to its rhythm. There is another secret here: joy. Multiplication is not born of tension, but of joy. When you release money with fear, you strangle circulation. But when you release with joy, you expand it. Joy is the vibration of overflow. Joy is the magnet of wealth. Joy is the signal that tells the universe you are ready for more. So do not just speak the words, feel them. Smile as you say them. Laugh if you can. Let joy fill your release, and you will see how quickly the law responds. Consider this: if you had unlimited wealth, if you never feared lack again, how would you spend? How would you give? How would you bless others? Begin acting that way now. Spend with confidence. Give with generosity. Release with freedom. Because the law of assumption says that what you embody now must become your reality. You cannot live like a pauper and expect riches. You cannot speak like a beggar and expect overflow. You must act, think, and speak as one who is already wealthy. So tomorrow, when you handle money, do not shrink. Stand tall, breathe deep, speak boldly, smile joyfully, and declare, every dollar I release returns multiplied. Imagine the effect if millions practiced this daily. A world no longer gripped by fear of lack. A society that blesses money instead of cursing it. An economy built on circulation, not on anxiety. This vision is not impossible. It begins with you. And when you change, you ripple outward. Your peace inspires others. Your overflow blesses others. Your confidence awakens others. Soon the vibration spreads, and what began with one declaration becomes a movement of abundance. Now let us anchor this forever with a final visualization. Close your eyes. See yourself 1 year from now. You are free. You are abundant. You are generous. You are joyful. You pay bills with gratitude. You give with confidence. You receive with ease. And all because you practiced one simple sentence: every dollar I release returns multiplied. Say it one last time with conviction. Every dollar I release returns multiplied in perfect timing, under grace. Feel the certainty, feel the peace, feel the joy, and know it is already done. From tonight forward, you will never spend the same way again. You will never release money without command. You will never curse your transactions. Instead, you will bless them, direct them, command them. And as you do, money will obey. It will multiply. It will circulate. It will flow back to you, stronger, greater, fuller than ever before. This is not luck. This is not chance. This is law, and law never fails. So go and spend with faith, release with joy, declare with authority, and watch as money multiplies under grace, in perfect timing, without fail. If you've walked with me from the very first moment, through every declaration, every blessing spoken over your money, and every vision of its joyful return, then you already know the truth. Spending is not loss. It is multiplication. Write in the comments, money returns multiplied, because I want to honor those who stayed until the very end, who didn't just listen passively, but who allowed this law to reshape their entire relationship with money. The connection we've built across these minutes tells me that your simple act of liking this video is more than support. It's circulation. It's you releasing energy that allows this teaching to flow toward another soul who is ready, just as you were, to step into prosperity. And if you felt the shift, if something in you whispered, "This is how I will live from now on," then subscribe. Not casually, not as entertainment, but as your covenant with abundance. A conscious choice to continue speaking over your money, commanding its return and multiplying supply day after day, video after video.